Good evening, all of you. Today, I hope you all are doing well, and I hope you're following the classes that we have been holding. And today we are going to do subject verb agreement. When we're talking about subject verb agreement, I'm basically talking about we have already done nouns and pronouns, and we have also done verbs. And today we are going to talk about the subject, that is the nouns and or the pronouns, and the verb is basically the action and their agreement. And how do you determine that? Let's have a look. So today we are going to talk about the subject verb agreement, and we are going to understand that how you can ace your score better with this topic. Basically the nouns and the pronouns are one end, then the verbs were one end, and now the agreement is one end. If you have a proper clarity about what we are going to do and whatever we are going to do today, this will really enhance your score to a next level. So come on, let's kickstart the class, and this is how we are going. And this is Deepa who will take you through this class. Okay, what is a subject? When we talk about it, what is basically a subject? We need to know first. Now, the subject is basically the noun or the pronoun, and we are going to go what is the work of the subject. Subject is basically the doer of the action, and we are going to work at what is the doer of the action, or what is the doer going to do, and how is it going to agree with the verb. Let's check that out first. Now, when we're talking about subject verb agreement, it actually refers to the fact that subject and verb in a sentence must agree in number, and in other words, they both must be singular or they both must be plural. So how does that, I mean, how do you assimilate that? For example, if I have Sam, we cannot say Sam are drinking milk or Sam are playing. We cannot say that. We have to say Sam is playing. Yeah, when I was doing the verbs format and when I was doing the auxiliary verbs, I very well said that, we were looking at singular verbs, singular and plural verbs. So this is how we are going to go. We'll just keep going it and then we'll understand it better. We cannot have a singular subject and a plural verb or vice versa. We cannot have just Sam and we cannot say Sam are going to park. The tricky part is knowing that the singular and the plural forms of subjects and verbs. Now, when we are talking about this, we have to understand that when we are talking about numbers, for example, Rob and Tom, we understand that they are two in number. That is easier to understand, that is easier to determine whether we have to use an are or an is. But there are so many things. There are uncountable nouns, there are material nouns, there are abstract nouns. We've already done the noun clarity class, noun agreement class, where we have spoken about different things. And with them, how to determine the verb is the basic point. So let's go forward. The singular and plural subjects or nouns are usually pretty easy. In most cases, the plural form of a noun has an S at the end like this. Car is singular and cars is plural. So therefore, here are a few properly construction subjects and verbs along with a few incorrect formulations. Let's check them out. So understanding car is, this is my car, this is our car. So what I'm now trying to say is this are my car is wrong usage and this is my car is the right usage. So the same way goes, these is my cars is a wrong usage. These are my cars is a right usage. So what I want to say is, if you have a singular verb, singular subject, you will use a singular verb, and if you have a plural subject, you will use a plural verb. That is the basic mantra, and you have to keep going on with this. So I walk is singular, whereas you walk is singular and plural both, because you can be said to just one person, or you can also be said, you can also be referred to a group of people. You complete this work, one person. You complete this work, plural. Okay, so you can be used in both ways, but still we are going to use a plural verb with a you. He or she walks, we walk. So this is basically what we are talking. We are talking about the first person where we are saying walk. The second person also walk. The third person singular format is walks. And the third person plural format is again walk. So I think this is pretty much clear. Now we walk, they walk. So let's look at the incorrect examples. Incorrect examples. Walks, she walk, they walks. These are basically the incorrect examples that we're talking about, which has to be taken care to avoid any kind of a confusion or to avoid any kind of disagreement with the subject and verb. Because walks is always used for a singular person and we cannot use that for plural noun or a pronoun, and walk is used for plural. So plural or first person or second person. So it cannot be used with a third person singular form. So this is an incorrect example. So let's go further into different constructions. For simple sentences, the now subject and verb agreement is not difficult to figure out. When we have simple sentences, for example, John is leaving. So I know that there is just one John. John is a singular subject, and with that, using is not difficult to ascertain. They are living. No, these are very, very basic things that you will not get messed up with, or you will not get, you won't get confused. But the point comes when you're using, complex sentences or compound sentences where you have multiple subjects and you lose connect about what goes there. Is it going to be a singular verb or a plural verb? Okay, so these sentences are incredibly simple, which means it's also incredibly simple to determine the correct subject and the verb case. So we don't really have to boggle our minds as to understand what is going there, because we just use them. The point comes with minute details. Let's go forward to check what are they. So when phrases come between the verbs, and see, when a verb phrase interrupts the subject and verb, the verb must agree with the subject regardless of the phrase. Let's check how. The example is, the man who plays soccer is handsome. We cannot say are handsome. We have to say is handsome. Now here, the noun, the verb is almost towards the end of the sentence. There are two verbs here. Place is one verb and is one verb. So we need to understand both of them agree with the man. Okay. So for example, if I have to change it into plural sense, it has to be the men who play soccer are handsome. So I cannot say is now. We have to say are. Okay. Let's go to the next one. See the usage has again changed. The place becomes play and is becomes are. That toy which I found in the oven is ruined. You have referring to a single toy, therefore it is ruined is understood and pretty well. So let's go forward. We have around 10 rules. Apart from this, we'll have some more rules that we would be using, and let's check what are the 10 rules. Rule number 1 is the subject and the verb must agree in number. I have already repeatedly said this. Both must be singular or both must be plural. Rule number 2. We have already discussed rule number 1. So I will not go further into it. I will not give any examples too. But rule number 2. The number of the subject is not changed by words or a phrase that come in between the subject and the verb. For example, we just had an example where we said that, where we tried to match the sentence and the verb. For example, we have said that we have said that, even if the men who play soccer are handsome, or the man who plays soccer is handsome. So we have to, even if there are some phrases that come in the middle, we still have to maintain the subject and verb agreement. We cannot mess that up. Let's go further. Some subjects always take a singular verb even though the meaning may seem plural. Let us take examples of this. For example, some subjects always take a singular verb. Now, for example, the bread. Let's discuss about bread. Bread is basically, it's uncountable noun. We don't say, when I say I eat bread, I could refer to just one slice of bread, or I can refer to 3 or 4 slices of bread. That is, bread is uncountable. But when I'm talking about slices, slices is countable. Okay, so for example, now the bread is uncountable. So basically it is plural in number, but still you are going to, the bread is ready. The slices are ready. The loaves are ready. But when we are referring to the bread, we say the bread is ready. Okay, so that is very important to understand, that when we are referring to this uncountable nouns or material nouns, though it might look, plural, it still takes a singular verb. For example, the police is coming. So the police could be just one police officer, or it could be 10 police officers. It still says the police are, we don't say the police are coming, we'll say the police is coming. But when we are talking about the police officers, I'm referring to the officers, and officers has an yes, that comes with the police officers are coming. Okay, so that is how we have to check whether, what does it look like? Okay, so let's go further into rule number 4. The following words may be singular or plural depending upon their use in a sentence. For example, now when I'm using about some, when I'm using with some of them are coming. I don't say some of them is coming, right? Do I say that? Just check it out once. Think. Now, in these words, we need to understand that, whenever I'm using all these words, we need to understand what is the context in the sentence. I cannot just go on using anything. For example, any. We always use anyone with the word any. So what is the right usage? What is the usage? Rule number 1. Whenever I use one with any noun or pronoun, I am going to use the singular verb. For example, anyone is only one, refers to one. So anyone is coming, none is coming, or no one is coming. So whenever we have everyone is coming, someone is coming, so we have to understand that anything that goes with this, we have to make sure whenever we are adding one with these words, we have to use a singular verb. I hope it is clear. So most of it, for example, some of them are coming. Now, some is basically, some is basically plural in number. So we are going to say, give me a few mangoes, give me a few mangoes. So whenever I'm using the phrase a few, then I will, I will use a singular verb or a plural verb in context, whatever I will have to check. So let's go to the next rule. Some subjects by and are plural. Subjects joined by or nor take a verb that agrees with the last subject. So what is this? Now, Robin and Sam are going to the party. So we understand that Robin and Sam are two people. So therefore we say they are going to the party. But if I'm using Robin or Sam, now whenever I have an or in between, then I have to say is, because either one of them is going. Neither Robin nor Sam is going. Now I have two subjects again. And I'm saying neither thee, neither he. So therefore, the verb that I'm going to use is also going to be a singular verb. Clear? Whenever I say that either Sam or Robin is going, I mean to say I'm referring to only one subject. Therefore, I will say that it is going to be I'm going to use a singular verb. But when I'm going to talk about, for example, Sam or his friends, now I have one singular verb noun and one plural noun. For example, Sam is a singular noun and his friends is a plural noun. So therefore, when I'm using a singular noun and a plural noun, I have to make sure that I am using whatever comes next to the noun. If it is a plural noun, I have to use a plural verb. If it is a singular noun, I have to use a singular verb. For example, if I say Robin's friends or Sam is coming to the party. Now, Robin's friends is basically a plural noun and Sam is basically a singular noun. But because the verb is coming next to Sam, I am going to use a singular verb to look better. But if I'm going to say Sam or Robin's friends are coming to the party. Now, Robin's friends is basically a plural noun. So therefore, I'm going to use are beside it. So when you have one singular and one plural, it is better to phrase it like this. The singular should go in the front and the plural should come next. Then the agreement with the noun becomes better. The agreement with the noun and verb becomes better, because when you are using Robin's friends and Sam, then you have to use, because the verb is coming next to the noun, you have to use a singular verb, and that will not match with Robin's friends, that is a plural noun, right? So that is why the best thing is, when you write a sentence, please write it like neither Sam nor Robin's friends are coming to the party. That looks better, because you will be able to suffice both the conditions. First thing is you are putting the noun first. Next thing is the singular noun first, and then you have a singular, say a plural noun, and you are using an action, you are using a verb that matches with this plural. Because whenever you have a singular noun and you have a plural noun, you have to use a plural verb. And when you write a sentence like this, pushing the singular noun forward and then comes the plural noun, the usage becomes better or easier. Okay, so that's about this rule. Let's go to the next rule. So therefore, whenever you are adding, you are joining a sentence with an and, you are going to use a plural verb, and whenever you are going to use the conjunctions or nor, then depending on the noun that comes just before the verb, you are going to use either a singular noun, verb, or a plural verb. Clear? Let's go next. Here, rule number 6 is here and there are never subjects. They are basically adverbs. So adverbs of time and place. So we can say that adverbs of time actually, no, place. Actually, they come here and there all the time. So let's check. So in sentences that begin with these words, the verb or subject is usually found later on in the sentence. For example, here comes the girl, or here comes the bride. When you use a sentence like here comes the bride, what is it that you're going to talk about? I mean, you're talking about here is basically the place, the position where the bride has come. So that is not the here comes the bride. So who is the subject here? Is it here is the subject or the bride is the subject? The bride is the subject and here is the place where she has come. So therefore we need to understand. So there is a doctor. So I can say that, but there again refers to a place where, we are talking about a doctor. So therefore they are not basically subjects. Who is the subject and there is a doctor? A doctor is a subject, not there. Okay, so understand that whenever you have here and there, you have to understand that they are not a part of the sentence. Let's go to the next one. Collective nouns, maybe singular or plural, depending on their use in the sentence. Now, for example, whenever I'm saying using the collective nouns, what are collective nouns? I hope when you have been listening to the noun agreement class, or you can go back and check the noun agreement class. Whenever we spoke about the collective nouns, we spoke about that they are basically formed into a unit. For example, there are 12 paper players in a team, but when I say the team, a team is a unit. So when I'm talking about the players, I can say the players are practicing. But when I'm talking about the team, I will say the team is practicing. So depending on that. So the point here is whenever I'm using a collective noun, I'm talking about the team, I will use it in a singular verb. But when I'm talking about the team members, now team members is plural and I will not be able to use the team members is playing, but I have to say the team members are playing. So therefore that is a difference. So collective nouns, when they are used as a collective noun, I will be using the singular verb. And whenever I'm using in the plural form, that the team members, I'll be using a plural verb. Okay, rule number 8, some nouns while plural in form are actually singular in meaning. We've already discussed this before also, that some nouns, material nouns, for example. What are material nouns? Material nouns are basically nouns which is a material or which is basically the input for an output. For example, if I'm talking about a window pane that is made up of wood, glass, in that case, the glass is basically the material noun. The window pane is made up of glass. Or when I'm talking about a desk, the wood is the material noun because that table is made up of wood. When I'm talking about cottage cheese, or I'm talking about cheese, or I'm talking about butter, it is made up of milk. So milk is basically the material noun. So that is what we need to understand, that whenever these are like the cheese is amazing. Do you say the cheese are amazing? No. What do you say? The milk is yummy. Do you say the milk are yummy? The bread is horrible. So will you say is or are? So basically these nouns is material nouns. We have to understand that they abstract nouns. Love is blind. We don't say love are blind. Lovers are blind, we can say that. But when you're referring to love, the abstract noun love, then we have to use only the singular verb. For example, we will say the lovers are blind or lovers are blind. We are referring to people, they are 2 in number. Or no, whenever we say lovers, we mean to say 2 people, right? So, but when we are talking about basically a component of love, that is an abstract noun and we are going to use is there, not a plural verb. So abstract nouns, material nouns, collective nouns, if you are using that collective noun word like hanger or herd or bouquet or team or anything of that sort, then we are going to use a singular verb. And uncountable nouns, all these nouns, they take singular verbs only. They might look as plural, but they are not. We are going to use only singular verbs with them. Okay, let's go to rule number 9. And rule number 9 says does not is a contraction of does not, and does not should only be used with a singular subject. How is that? She does not know how to prepare a meal. She does not know how to bake a cake. Okay, so whenever I'm using, they don't know how to bake a cake, right? Now with singular verbs, with singular nouns, I can use does, and with plural nouns, I can use do. So they are basically, they are contractions. If I'm using as does not, it does not mean anything else, or do not. Okay, the rule number 10 is words like civics. We have a maths class, mathematics class. Civics is my civics marks is horrible. Okay, so we are going to use these words. News, the news is horrible, or the news is terrible. Whatever we are going to use, these are basically words that seem plural in number, but they are basically, they will be used with singular verbs only. And the last, the one that I did not add it here, is basically whenever I'm using the article the, this is rule number 10, rule number 11, I should say. The rule number 11 is whenever I want to say that the actor and dancer is coming to our school. The actor and dancer is coming to our school. It is right, because I'm referring to one person only who is an actor and a dancer too. But if I'm talking about the dancer and the actor, then I'm referring about two people. The is an adjective that is used before a single, I mean, it can be used before a singular noun or a plural noun. But when I'm using two thus, it means that I am referring to two different nouns. So they are not one and the same. So it should not be misunderstood. Rather, it should be taken as whenever you see that there are two ands, basically the person is referring to two different people. So that is how we have to understand. So if I say that the actor and dancer is coming, that means I'm referring to one person. And if I am saying, for example, the actor and the dancer is coming, I will not say is, I will say are, because the actor is one person and the dancer is one person. So therefore I have two people, and now I'm going to use the plural verb. Clear? So let's answer some questions so that we understand how we are going forward. Did we understand all the rules? Are we still stuck? I'll give you some time to make sure that you are preparing it well, or you are able to understand it well. I'll discuss each and every question explicitly, so don't worry about it. I hope this will definitely help you understand the concept well, and also make sure that you don't make any mistakes. Okay, so let's go forward. And the first question is, Alma and her brother Jose has won the state robotics competition for high school students. Now, how many subjects are there? We have two subjects, Alma and her brother. There are two subjects. So therefore, we have to use, let's see the options. When we were discussing tenses yesterday, I have repeatedly said that whenever you have a singular verb noun, you are going to use has, and whenever you have a plural noun, you will use have. So therefore, we are referring to Alma and her brother Jose, and they are two in number. So therefore, the correct answer is number 2, have one. Has refers to only one person, so therefore we are going to use have one. Let's go to the next question, and the next question says, we only have 3 weeks until our fall issue goes to print. Say Alina as a reminder to the Life and Art magazine editors who lagged on deadlines. So whenever we use a say is it is basically used with first person I, second person you, and in third person plural form, that is they. So therefore, let's see the options and let's check the answer too. Here, if we want to put it in a singular, in a simple present tense, we have to use says, Alina. Now, this we don't have that option here. The other option that is available is said, and we will use said. Because have is used with plural noun and were is also used with plural noun. And any which ways, B does not go with it. No change cannot be the answer because say is not the right word. That does not agree with the subject, and so therefore D is the right answer. Let's go to the next question. Abdul and Rahim were pumping the brakes gingerly as if it were raining. Maybe I should reconsider this exit, he said under his breath. Now here, we have two people. Abdul and Rahim, and both of them were pumping the brakes gingerly as if it were raining. Maybe I should reconsider this exit, he said under his breath. So therefore, we have one person probably who said this, and we have two people, and were is basically with the subjects Abdul and Rahim. Therefore, no change is the right answer because we are talking about two people and it completely matches with those two people. So therefore, number one, no change is the right answer. Anyone who has traveled to foreign countries understand the importance of getting immunization shots. And the options are this. Let's check which is the right answer. Now, when I said anyone, I'm referring to one. One. So therefore, one is singular in number. So therefore, I have to use a verb that is also singular. Understand is not for singular verbs, singular nouns. So therefore, I'm going with answer B. Fourth question, answer B. Let's go to the fifth question. Everyone in the seminar believed that meditation relieves stress and promotes overall well-being. These are the options. Check which one should go with it. Again, here I'm talking about everyone. So therefore, we are talking about one. So with everyone, I have to use a singular verb and not a plural verb. Therefore, fifth question, number 2 is the right answer. And you will also see that they are also talking about relieve stress, promotes overall well-being. They are also in singular form, singular verbs. So therefore, to make it a parallelism construct also, believes is the right answer. Apart from that, Everyone, we are talking about everyone, each and every one. So therefore, I should be using a singular verb only. Is it clear? Let's go to the next question. Writing have been invented in summer around 3200 BC, marking the beginning of recorded history. Now, writing is uncountable noun. You cannot count the number of writings. We can count the number of books, but not writing. So therefore, I cannot, writing might seem plural in number, but writing is basically uncountable. So therefore, I cannot use a plural verb. And let's see the options. Now, the options are, we cannot use have been at all because that does not agree with the noun. Was, yes, the was is used with singular noun, so therefore we can agree with that. Being, writing being invented, no. Are, no. So therefore, B is the right answer, where we say writing was invented in summer during 3200 BC, marking the beginning of recorded history. Right? So writing might seem plural, but it is not because it is uncountable. So therefore, I have to use a singular verb, and we are using was. Let's go to the next question. Awarded a Newbery Medal, doll bones are the story of three children's quest to return a haunted doll to its proper gravesite. Now, doll bones might seem plural, but it is not because it is talking about a story. And let's look at the question options. We are going to, if are is not the right option, definitely were and have been is also not the right option, and no change definitely is not the right option. Therefore, the only option that is left is, and we are going to use is there, because doll bone is basically a story, is the story of three children's quest. So it is not different stories, but it is a story. Because the verb here, the noun here says story. So therefore, I have to use the word verb is there and not a plural verb. So therefore, seventh question, second one is the right answer. Let's go to the eighth question and check what is the right answer. After discovering that children who grow up on farms are less likely to suffer from asthma and allergies, researchers is work trying to isolate the compounds in farm dust that lead to this protection. Now, let's see the options. Apart from the questions that I've given here, I have also uploaded some questions on the app. You can practice them too. So best of luck. Okay, so after discovering that children who grow up on farms, we're talking about the researchers, and researchers are plural number. So therefore, is trying is not the right verb. The verb that should be used is are trying. Therefore, eighth question, fourth option is the right answer. I hope this is clear. Let's go to the next question. Although he had a great sense of timing, Billy's career as a stand-up comic were handicapped by his poor memory. Let's see the options. Now we're talking about Billy's career, and career is singular. It is basically abstract career. And though it might seem career graph and different things, but still it is singular. So therefore, we should be using a singular verb. And the singular verb that agrees with this is basically question number 9, option C, that talks about was handicapped by his poor memory. Question. Since restaurants rarely skims on rich ingredients like butter and salt, some researchers now say that sit-down restaurant food is nutritionally no better than fast food. Let's see the options. These are the options, and in the question you will see you have the verb called skims. Skims is plural, singular in number. That is basically skimping. This has to be used in singular, simple present tense only, because we are talking about a generalized thing and that need not be used in a present perfect tense. So therefore, the fourth option is not right. Is rarely skimping. We don't have to use this format also. It is very simple. Whenever you're doing a subject verb agreement, don't try to completely change the meaning and everything. Just look at the subject and verb only. Don't try to change. Only when necessary, try to change the auxiliary verbs or anything, but don't unnecessarily try to change the complete meaning of the sentence. For example, is rarely skimping is also right, and has rarely skimmed is also right. Because they are talking about the restaurants trying to skim. But here, what we have to check is that we are not talking about restaurant. We are talking about restaurants. Sorry. So we are talking about plural form here. Since restaurants, that is plural in number. So therefore, we have to use a plural verb. Is and has is wrong, definitely. But even if you had are and have instead of is and has, still they would be wrong, because when we are talking a general term, better keep it simple, in simple present tense. Okay, so therefore in the 10th question, we are going to use the second option, rarely skimmed. If it was singular noun, restaurant, then we could have used is rarely skimping or has rarely skimmed. But because we are not going to change the tense of the sentence, change the essence of the sentence, we are not going to use 3 and 4. We are going to use only the second option. Is it clear? Let's go to the next question. With the help of the Matsu Regional Medical Center, medical school students in Gateway, Alaska, observe intubation and sets bones. Let's look at the options. Here, we are talking about medical school students, that is plural in number. So therefore, I have to use a plural verb only. And sets is used for singular nouns. So therefore, set is the right verb. Please check. So therefore, for the 11th question, fourth option is the right answer. Let's go to the next question. If Margaret can spend a week in the wilderness, she surely possesses fortitude to deal with a spider in her bathtub. These are the options. Let's check which is the right answer. Now, possess is a verb used with plural nouns, and possesses is basically a singular noun, singular verb used with singular noun. As Margaret is singular, we are going to use no change as a right answer. I hope it is clear. Let's go to the next question. When hiking Machu Picchu in Peru, most hikers finds that altitude sickness is a greater challenge than the intensity of the climb. Let's look at the options. Now, hikers is basically a plural verb, plural noun, and we are going to use a plural verb only. We won't require a singular verb there. So therefore, we are talking about hikers, and we are going to use the verb C. The third option, find. Because finds, whenever we are using finds, we are talking about a singular noun, and we have hikers here, that is a plural noun. Therefore, we are going to use find as the right option and not finds. Let's go to the next question. Although calzones often contain same ingredients as pizza, they are much easier to hold and present a much more subdued package. Let's see the options. Calzones is basically plural in number, so therefore the verb also agrees with it. It is contain. Contain is used with plural noun, so therefore no change is the right option, 15A. Let's go to the next question. A recent experiment revealed that hungry mosquitoes first hones in on smell and then on warmth. Thus, body odor may play a key role in being more desirable to the bugs. Oh my God, no. Okay, so let's look at the options. We are talking about mosquitoes, that is plural number, and then we are having a verb that says hones. Hones is basically a singular verb, therefore we have to find a different answer option. So let's see what is that. C, third one, the third option is the right option. First, hone. Hone is basically a plural verb and it goes with a plural noun. Let's go to the next question. Despite claims that Columbus' journey to the Americas was filled with harsh weather, records show that the seas were fairly calm for the trip or duration of the trip. These are the options. Now, when we can suffice it with a simple present tense, why should we go for anything else, right? So basically, records show, records is plural in number and show is also a plural verb. So therefore, we need not change the option and we are going to use no change as the right answer. Clear? Let's go to the next question. In 1906, President Theodore Roosevelt revised 300 words that was thought to be too complex. The president felt words like honor, center, and travel should be simplified, hence the deviation of American spellings from their British counterparts. So let's look at the options. Now here we are talking, now this is where we need to understand that here we are talking about Roosevelt. Now Roosevelt is the first subject, but we have one more subject, that is words. Here we are not talking about Roosevelt, but we are talking about the words. So therefore Words is the second subject, and with the second subject, we have to change the some verb also. Let's check the sentence. President Theodore Roosevelt revised 300 words. Object, 300 words is not the subject, but is basically the object. But now we are talking about the object further. That is, that was. Now what was? What was? We are talking about the words. So therefore, we have to use a plural verb with this single plural noun. We are talking about the words, and therefore we have to consider that words are plural number. Therefore, instead of was, we have to use were. For example, when I said words is a plural singular another subject, the reason why I said that was because I have not read the complete sentence and I have to find out what are the nouns there. Not looking at whether it is a subject or a object, I know that Roosevelt is one noun and words is another. So that's the reason I said another subject. So it is basically another noun. Okay, so therefore we'll go with, for the 18th question, we'll go with D, were. Let's go to the next question. Most parents never think to run down their water heater, but many infants are burned by overly warm tap water. Let's look at the options. Now here we are talking about most parents. Parents is plural number. So therefore, no change is the right option. So these are very minute things that you have to take into consideration whenever you are using the subject-verb agreement. Because if you don't consider them, then it is definitely that you might, you might lose your marks, you might lose your points. So therefore, always understand what is it going. Look at the subjects, whether that subject, and now if I'm talking about the parent, now I cannot determine if I'm talking about the gender cannot be determined from parent. So therefore, whenever I'm going to talk about anything else, at that point of time, it is going to be, most parents never think gender cannot be determined, but definitely we can say it is a plural noun. So therefore, never think should be the right option because we're talking about parents and we're talking about plural number. Okay. NASA's long-awaited photos of Pluto show that not a single impact crater appears on the planet's surface, which indicates that Pluto is geologically active. Let's look at the options. What are we talking about here? What are we talking about here? Which subject are we talking about here? Please note. How many nouns are there in the sentence? Okay. Now here, Pluto is one subject, right? The next one is the crater. And crater, but here we are basically not talking about Pluto, but we are talking about the crater. So therefore, we're going to use C3 as the right option. Question number 23 is the right option. Let's go to the next question. Investigators at the Worldwide Crime Agency found Carmen Sandiego to be the most elusive criminal of all time. Now, do you think it needs a change? Now, we can go with no change because that sounds perfectly fine because investigators at the World Crime Agency found. Therefore, no change is the right option. Let's go to question number 22. Set during the Great Depression, the grapes of wrath are a novel about the struggles of tenant farmers in America. Now here, there is a small mistake. The option is not basically wrath, but it is basically R. And we are going to look at the options. Yeah. So here, look at the options. We're not basically talking about the grapes of wrath, but we are talking about the R here, that is beside it, verb. So therefore, let us see. Now, the grapes of wrath is basically a novel. So therefore, a novel is already written there. With a novel, you cannot definitely have a R there. So therefore, we are going to talk about the fourth option. That sounds perfectly right with it. 22nd question, fourth answer is the right option. I hope you understood this well. So whenever you're reading the complete thing, whenever you read a sentence, please understand what are the nouns there and which verb is basically connected to which noun. So it is a good practice to make sure to keep the noun and the verb together not at a distance to avoid confusion. Let's go to the next question. The next question says, only one of the three girls noticed when a shooting star streaked across the sky. Now, when we're talking about this, we are talking about, let's look at the options. Only one of the three girls noticed. Therefore, I don't find there is any option because we're only talking about one girl, and therefore no change is the right option. Every cat in the control group are susceptible to seizures. Every cat, we are talking about every single cat. So let's look at the options. Here, we're not talking about a group of cats, but we're talking about a single cat. Every, that is every one of it. So therefore, C is the right option. Let's go to the last question of the day. All the President's Men is the most important work of investigative reporting to come out of the 20th century, Hannibal said. Now here, let's look at the options. Now here, we should have a quotation marks beginning of the all the President's Men too. I think we missed that. So here we're talking about basically an important work, the most important work. So therefore, it is singular in number, and we are not basically talking about President's Men, but we are talking about the work. Therefore, no change is the right option. Okay, so I think that this is clear and you understood the concepts well, and I hope you could do the questions too. So therefore, I hope this session was informative and useful, and wish you all the best to make sure that you ace well in this segment. Thank you so much. All the best.